Two North Dakota farmers have been found guilty of crop insurance fraud. Brothers Aaron and Derek Johnson have been sentenced to prison and ordered to pay back more than $900,000. Aaron Johnson will serve 4 years in prison, and his brother Derek was sentenced to 1.5 years. The Johnsons were found guilty of intentionally destroying potatoes to collect crop insurance payments. The traditional horse riding talents of Mexican cowboys were on display in Mexico City. The event is known as the National Charro Championships. That's an event that celebrates the skills of traditional Mexican cowboys. The opening of the championships was held yesterday in the Mexican capital. Charreria, as the sport is known, is considered Mexico's national sport. During the event, charros, or cowboys, show off their skills on horseback, performing tricks as well as using lassos on cows and horses. Cowgirls also take part in the event. They perform choreographed movements in groups of 8 to 16 riders. Time now for Stewardship Wednesday, staying ahead of the curve in animal care. For something you'll never see on the evening news, when we focus on animal care, we quickly think of the care required to make sure the cow, hog, or chicken, or even the turkey goes through to their life to provide a healthy meal for humans. But part of good livestock stewardship is taking care of where it all begins by taking care of the male of the species.
One of the ways that the veterinary community is involved heavily in bull stewardship is to perform what we call evaluations, fertility evaluations on bulls. And we actually get a sample of semen on bulls in a way you could consider to be a biopsy. But instead of actually grabbing a piece of tissue, we grab the sample from the tissue that's semen. And we grab that sample, we'll put it under a microscope, we'll look at it, how it looks, and we'll put it under a microscope to see how it's moving, and then we'll actually take a smaller sample, put a little bit of stain on it, and evaluate individual semen cells. It's a skill and a technique that's been used for a long, long time in the veterinary community, but it's one that's very necessary. Now, does it tell you everything you need to know about that bull's ability to settle cows or to breed cows? It doesn't. All it tells you is whether their semen's good or not. Whether the bull actually does the job or not, that's sometimes up to the producer to make sure he's out there watching. All the sale bulls that are out there, all of those bulls, or a majority of those bulls, will have gone through a semen evaluation, or if they haven't, they're too young, the seller will say, I'll pay for that semen evaluation.
Now, for more on bull evaluation, you can go to the NDSU Extension website and do a search for bull evaluation. The latest surge of winter weather had been affecting more than just residents in Texas. Livestock owners have had to take extra precautions caring for their animals, and farmers are having to reevaluate when to plant corn. Reporter Daniela Rivera tells us farmers at the Texoma Livestock Show say taking care of animals in cold conditions can take twice as much work.
You have to come out here and make sure they're warm and not freeze on you, and take them out in the sun and warm them up.
Some have blankets, and all of these animals get extra food.
It's more hay, more feed, anything you can get for them.
This calf was born here Wednesday night, 2 weeks early, but the owner tells us timing was on his side.
If we'd been at home, we'd been outside in the elements, so being here, we're was kind of lucky.
Out in the elements is where you'll find farmer Ben Weibel's cows.
As long as they're full of hay or any type of feed, they can generate their own body heat.
Weibel feeds his livestock extra right before a winter weather event and gives them a high-quality alfalfa after for protein.
It's added expense, just a problem feeding, trying to get in and out with a pickup.
His stock tanks are full, and Weibel says the ice will protect wheat crops, but for anyone looking to grow corn this year, the saturated ground will delay planting, which could mean crops would be more affected by the drought. But according to the U.S. Drought Monitor, Grayson County has improved in the last week and is now in the lowest dry category.
You really need to start planting by the 10th.
Okay.
And like I say, we're not going to be able to do that, doesn't look like.
Back at the stock show.
The cold, though, has not deterred you guys from coming out here and showing.
No, got to be in it to win it.
All right, coming up right after the break, we'll take a full look at your weather forecast.